What's up, everybody? It's me. It's Adam S. League Dad, former GM, GM of the Year, champion, generally sick and hurt person at the moment. In case you can't hear the sick part in my throat, I do have a Boston hat. My Golden Knights riding an 8-game win streak. If anybody who hasn't heard, my right shoulder started hurting me the other day because I'm old. And, ooh, so yeah, for whatever reason, just this side, it hurts to do anything like that right there. Hurt a lot. Sleeping was painful. Just trying to relax and throw some icy hot on it. And if you haven't heard that story, feel free to ask. Just doing the thing. Got a lot going on. In fact, breaking news! If you haven't seen it already, breaking news. There's breaking news. Boston just traded with Baltimore. We're getting rookie sensation Gregor McGregor, DSFL GM, Canico the Squirrel. Squirrel! We're very excited about that. Happy to bring them into our locker room. Someone who definitely wanted to be there. Someone we have definitely wanted through 2 iterations of player now. I'm very happy with the way that's going. Obviously, we have to keep coughing. It's like my body knows I don't want to do it because it hurts. We have to let go of Sandeep Bakshi, player 1, who has not been active basically for the last 2 seasons. But he was with us from the beginning. We won an Ultimates together. I'm sad to see him go. His time was ticking though, so I get it. Pretty damn happy about this move. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm in a lot of pain. I am just sucking down hot tea to help with the cold. But I happen to have perfect timing for all this, so as long as I don't have to lift any heavy objects with my right hand or do this, which is minorly uncomfortable. Actually, yesterday this was very uncomfortable, and today it's just minorly uncomfortable, which is nice. It feels like an improvement, you know? So for the questions for this episode, I told everybody to go ahead and throw in a request to make me answer their questions in a specific accent. And I'm fully regretting this immediately. But I'm going to do it because it's me. You know I take care of things. I'm also probably going to get asked some questions about a draft that I haven't fully looked at yet. So that's going to be interesting. So let's see if the draft is updated. Season 21 draft. Is it updated? Yo, update. I'm guessing it's not updated. If Dermot's complaining that it's not updated, then it's not. Yeah. So there goes that. We will figure out what's going on here. Let's go right into let's just jump right into questions. Might as well. Otherwise, somebody's going to talk about something I asked about anyway. So, let's do this thing. All right. Why did I do that? I just knew this is going to go bad. Oh well. Sorry, Canadian accent. Like, Canadian accent like someone who says sorry? Or like a terrible Canadian accent where I go, hey, yo, hey. I'm just going to go with a regular Canadian accent, I think. What do you think of me getting hired as CEO of Kansas City? Hey, I think it's good. It's good. I think trying to remember my Canadian slang. It's good. You and the boys, yeah, it's gonna be good. We'll get a half packer or whatever you want to call it. Hurry, name 3 expansion teams right off the top of your head. The Austin Copperheads, the Chicago Butchers, and Philadelphia Liberty. Fuck you. I got out of that. All right. You know, have a good one. And I'm sorry. Raven has requested a Canadian accent. Right. Forgot about that for a minute. Been watching a lot of Little Mermaid with my daughter lately. Congrats on winning the cup with your baby. That didn't sound like it at all. I've asked you plenty of time between whether the current season was your season to win it all, and now that you won it, there's no way I can. Hey, bud! Without it being like way over the top, and my neighbor's looking at me weird. I don't know, man. Was this the season to win it all? Wait, your question was whether or not this was the season to win it when we already won it? For the season, did you say, yep, this is the season we did win it? I did, actually. I did say this was the season. I did! I knew this was going to be the season. I feel like a Disney villain now. We were right there. And there was a joke about how the person who always picks us last each year picked us fourth. So clearly we were going to win, and we did. We knew we were right there. Hey, I think that's the Canadian. This is just a disaster right out of the gate. With expansion talk coming up, there will be plenty of people looking at GM jobs opening up. What kind of style would you recommend taking up as a new team? A good one. We've seen teams in the past try to compete from the get-go. LPL, Chicago. What hasn't ended well? Is slow and steady the way to go about it? Obviously, that's as far as you're getting on that one. Obviously, I prefer the slow and steady method. Accumulate talent, accumulate draft picks, build that culture as you go along. Because I think that culture is the most important thing. If you start right away with a win now fast culture, you're going to lose people right away, which has happened every single time it's been tried. So, you know, you want to, even, you know, the real world example, they started with a bunch of guys nobody wanted, essentially, just kind of bonded them together, and the fact that it became successful after that was more organic. It wasn't intended that way. So, slow and steady wins the race. Especially when the race is however many seasons long. It's not one race. Building a team to win one title is almost always a mistake, in my opinion. So there you go. And fuck you for that bullshit. I mean, fuck myself. Obviously, I came up with this stupid idea, but fuck you. And thank you for your questions. Valor. Okay. Oh, he didn't even do it. Awesome. Can Chicago possibly make the playoffs with the current roster? No. No. Not in your conference. Not even in your conference. Just don't see it. Not today. But I do predict that if you keep adding, you'll make playoffs in the next 3 years. How do you feel about your draft class? Pretty good. They're already in our locker room. They're getting involved. We just added another person. Boom goes the dynamite. You know, Chicago's I didn't see as much. I didn't actually see the results of the draft. So I'm gonna flip over to YouTube real quick, and because we don't have, you know, we don't have the results of the draft listed out somewhere, which feels like a thing that should happen. Like, because the draft was finished many days before it actually was broadcast, so it feels like there's plenty of time to put together a list for somebody. Come on, come on, come on, YouTube, hurry up. Okay. So, yes, we're going to watch the draft, but not really. I'm mostly just going to go find a draft card later in the draft and figure out what's going on. Oh, that's a nice touch right away. In memoriam to Mark Spector. But Sidran. I've been pronouncing his name wrong for 2.5 years. Those of you who don't know, the user Red Sidran, that guy passed away recently. Cystic fibrosis. I can't even speak today. Definitely somebody who was very involved and active in the beginning of the league. We didn't interact all that much, but losing your life very young sucks. It's awful. Words can't really describe what that is. So now that we've had that moment, I feel so perfunctory.
Christopher Prince.
Before it.
I mean, I
there we go.
wouldn't put
Okay.
it past.
Alright, so the first 10 alphabets here. Let me go back to round. Alright, okay, let's pause. Osiris Firestorm Fjord in the first round. That's HEOB, great user. If you can keep him active and involved, that'd be a very good thing. Jerome Davis in the second round, steal. The last pick of the second round, you got that guy? That's a steal. Kudos to you on that one. Perry Tucker, fucking steal at the end of the third round. Yeah. If that dude stays active, huge steal.
Gunner's a solid
Huge
guy. He's
steal.
coming into a slide. Say their name, but it is pronounced Savord.
Cool. You don't have anything in the fourth round.
Right. Let's move. Go ahead and brighten that place up a bit too.
Looks like you don't have anything in the fifth round either. Or you got something on six. Let's see what's going on. But right away, already, number 6 pick. You got a tight end who's likely to be around. He's a sim veteran. He's someone who's been in a lot of locker rooms, has a lot of respect around the sim community. Awesome.
The dog likes the
Jerome Davis at 20, huge steal.
Focus.
Huge steal. It's Get Right's player, I believe. Yeah, he'll be awesome. Perry Tucker at 30, awesome. That was a dude who left kind of early, but still damn near made himself a Hall of Fame player to begin with. He's motivated. He's low key. He'll be a great pick here.
Sorry, I had a
Trade there?
that I had to do it. We needed another running back. You know,
it's worth mentioning here.
Super amazing dude. Bubba, I know was around Minnesota fairly 100%. So okay.
Bubba Twatford.
We'll move on to pick 52 for the same
I had limited interaction with that person, but I don't remember anything negative off the top of my head, so that's a good thing. I mean, you're getting them in this round. Are they still active? I don't know. Looks like
54 for the Yeti. They're gonna go
draft board all messed up.
Pyramid? Yes, there it goes.
You need to get your draft system right. That's the thing you need to be focusing on. Raheem Okusi. I don't know if that person's active.
More wide receivers.
But
yay!
You know, just the first 6 picks. Gold.
To be more
I can't see a bad pick in there. I see several straight up steals.
Absolutely.
So,
Cake.
how you liking them apples? Do we pass the 70th pick just for no reason? I'm glad my proteges are carrying on the tradition of fuck these picks after the ones that I care about. No, I think you had a pretty damn good draft. Especially those first three. If you can get those first three going, boom, daddy. Yeah, that's awesome. Which team? Yeah, great job. By the way, just keep that up. Which team who made the playoffs has the highest risk to miss it? Baltimore. I don't think that's that much of a surprise. You're at the tail end of Corvo Havrin's prime. I don't know that they have all of the tools to get there, and Philly was right on top of them last year anyway, and got better, to my knowledge. So, yeah, I think Baltimore's most likely. Or the ASFC, you never fucking know. Biggest free agent right now is Sir McCullough, a DE. Where does he sign and why? He could have signed by now. I briefly chatted with him about it when free agency began. So I think he's likely to be just looking for his opportunities. I mean, let's call it what it is. He's a somewhat controversial figure at times. His sense of humor doesn't always click with other people. So I know a lot of teams may be slightly hesitant to bring him into their locker rooms. And I know he wants to be somewhere he's wanted. Like somewhere he's wanted. Not just, oh, you have a super active defensive lineman, so we'll put up with you and your quirkiness. He wants to be somewhere where he personally feels welcome. So that's a big deal for him. I know. I'm talking about that. I'm your agent now, Sermo. So if your real question is, does Chicago have a shot to sign this guy? Yeah. Any GM was going to go have a real conversation with him and make him feel like he's wanted, has got a really strong shot to sign one of the best young D linemen in the game. So there you go. Get your shit right. Go sign Sermo. Do I think as just a further question, do I think he fits in the Austin locker room? Probably not. There's a difference there in sort of tone and between how he handles himself and how we do. That's not a negative or a knock on him. It's just how we do things and how they do things. And yeah. Again, though, not my decision. So we will see what happens. I'm not at liberty to discuss whether or not we're interested because that's not my job. But you could make a hell of a splash by going to let that dude know that he is welcome to be himself in your locker room. If that's the way you feel. Thank you, Valor. And thank you for not adding the accent. Bex, you have to make an Antarctica NSFL team. What's your branding? Something about cold? Something about cold. Obviously, the chill, the explorers, something. Usually I tend to, my process when I think about branding is to try to look at like what's sort of unique to the area in terms of locations, history, animals, attitudes, philosophies, etc. Antarctica doesn't necessarily have that. So I'd go through, okay, it's obviously very, very cold, one of the coldest spots on Earth. It would be very tough to live there, so these are the kind of things I would think of. It's a home of explorers, absolutely. Home of scientists, you could definitely throw something about that in there. Yeah, and so I would kind of coalesce all those and maybe do some stuff like throw explorers into a synonym machine, because I can only think of so many, and see if something popped up that I like, or you can't call a team hardy, but to live in Antarctica you have to be hardy. You have to be, you have a great tolerance for terrible living situations and things like that. So I would kind of go through all these and then try to see if I can find 3 or 4 that I liked and go from there. So I can't answer that because my process is too deep. That's right, deep. Minor little burps, you can hear them too. Totally unrelated. Boom. I just had soup, and apparently it's like all deciding to pop up right now. Some of my wife's chicken tortilla soup. It's good for the soul, by the way. How do you think the TSFL expansion teams will fare this season? Doesn't matter. It's TSFL. I think the most important aspect of DSL is building a locker room that brings loyalty. What happens on the field doesn't matter. Most of the players are gone the following season. It's not DSL is important in terms of on field. Other than, bringing in new players and them getting to see their player on field and sort of build like the idea of what they want in a player. Because that season of the DSFL, especially if you're absolutely brand new and it's your first player, you're like, oh, I like the way this works, or I don't like the way this works, so I should switch positions. So the teams who, to my standard on what a DSFL team faring well is, would be GMs who can be on top of that, part of that, and getting players ready to go to the next level. So if you've got a couple of GMs who are ready to just bring people forward and create a high retention rate and just kind of get people set up to have a blast in the league, that's a successful fairing. So that sort of answers your question. Thoughts on how the first round of the NSFL draft went? It happened. Let me see. Nope. Do you know the man? I don't know why that's that song. Vegeta at 1 is a slam dunk. Allen at 2. And He Hate Me pick 6 at 4 for San Jose. Great job. Super easy. Didn't overthink it. Juniped, or is it Junite? Juniped Catfish at 3. They're all about that position change, but I'm gonna be honest, Philly doesn't have a second round pick, which is a thing I had not considered. There is strong likelihood that their thinking was, now I'm not even going to touch on position, but their thinking was that this person might not be there at 21. And with a hard to predict draft, you could see that, and so their choice is risk losing the player they actually want and are thoroughly in love with, 21, or just making a gigantic leap at 3. And they chose to go for the player they really wanted. So, I don't know that that's how I would have handled it. I would have probably tried to trade down. I don't know that they didn't. But given the possibility that they literally had to deal with, we do it at 3 or we risk not being able to do it at 21, I can't hate on it. So, I get you, Philly. I see where you're coming from. Baltimore, crisscross. Well, I'm sure it makes people want to jump. Solid. Chicago, I already mentioned. Osiris, Firestorm Fjord in the first round is just a great pick for them. Happy Onion Bagel's awesome. Emmanuel Blackstone falling to 7. The Yeti is just a tremendous fall and just a huge benefit to the Yeti. That really worked out for them. Dorfish Jimbo at NOLA. Somebody said they were going for means, but I think Scorp is a guy you draft there no matter what. So, yeah. Douglas Quaid and Yellowknife that fits. Hendrix fits that culture and that locker room really well. Riles McTackle at 10. Pretty happy with that one. Yeah. Although I think I've been calling him Riles but Giles the whole time. But yeah, pretty excited about having him in the locker room, so I'm very happy with that. So there you go. There's the first round. So I feel about each of those picks. Thank you, Bex. Vexatious with a thick Irish accent. Of course you picked that. I was waiting for somebody to pick that. There's a couple of different ones you can do. My rule for when I take on an accent is generally to not be thick. Because everybody thicks it up and exaggerates for what they're doing, and I tend to try to low play it, and so it seems a little bit more realistic. So here we go. How did the rookies? No. Apparently I'm singing Irish music. Get Irish in my head. Irish. It's gotta be Irish. Not Irish. Irish. How did the rookies meet? No. Rookies meet? I think that was New Zealander right there. Hey, how top of the morning to you. There we go. That's awful. How did the rookie? I can do this any other fucking time. I don't like potatoes. I do like potatoes. I am Irish. How did the rookies not make your expectations this season? And what are your expectations for everyone this season? Fucking fuck. Okay, why did I do this? Normally, I'm pretty damn good at accents. Like, ooh, you're having a laugh. Oh, you're having a laugh. There we go. How did the rookies not meet your expectations this season? What are your expectations for everyone this season? That is still awful somehow. I am just missing it. Anyway, I don't know. I didn't have any expectations for the rookies this last season. We had, like 110. We had a little over 100 come in, and 60 of them are still active. Boom. What are your expectations for everyone this season? Try hard out there. Play nice. It's all about the love of the game. It's a team sport. Everybody give 100% effort. Just doing the post game. Both teams played really hard. My expectations this season, I have no fucking idea. This is gonna be a crazy season. I don't know what's gonna happen. I am excited for how many of the season 21 rookies are still going at it compared to how many started. It's a pretty good number. So, any tips you have for people, me, wanting to start a podcast? Have you heard my shit? I'm not very good at this. No, just be yourself. Find a format or an idea that fits you. Like, I can do great analysis. Obviously, people ask me about stuff that involves that. But obviously, the main thrust of my podcast is, oh, Adam's just going to make a bunch of shit off the top of his head, and it's going to be kind of a disaster at all times, and that's enjoyable in its own way. And it works, because I'm an enjoyable disaster. Jesus Christ, that's getting quoted, isn't it? God damn it. That and my inability to do an Irish accent in this one moment. It's fucking ridiculous, it is. I'm sorry, Cat, you didn't deserve that. Right fucking ridiculous. That I couldn't do it the whole time until I was already done, and then suddenly it just pops out of my mouth like fucking nothing. Jesus Christ. It's a little ugly at the end. Anyway, thanks for your questions. and for making me feel terrible about my ability to do accents on the spot. Nokazoa, Scottish accent. Did you read that the other one was an Irish accent? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? That's more Liverpool. Scottish. Scottish. You do a Scottish accent. You don't want to go full on Connery. Because everyone can do that. It's not quite the right one. I sound like Gimli. Scottish accent. I'm Scottish. I'm clearly not Scottish. Hey Adam, what are your thoughts on the draft? It happened. Big draft, lots of active people. Teams making moves to get ready for expansion and then even bigger draft next season. It's pretty exciting. Biggest deal of the draft aside from Dax Frost. Look at that map again. I mean, there's a lot of potential steals. A lot of potential steals. So, I think time will tell who the biggest steal was. Gregor McGregor in the 4th round to not the team that drafted him. How about that? I mean, not that I'm biased. I'm biased. Bias. No, I'm still trying to do the. I can usually do accents. I was like, okay, it's gonna be fun. Dermot's bitching about people doing accents, so it'll be funny to make this happen. Annoy Dermot, which would be great. Always love it, annoying Dermot for entertainment purposes. And then like I get in the moment, and then just like boom, all this shit flies out of my head, and I suddenly can't do it because I'm trying to do it on like a technical level, I guess. I don't know. Scottish. You don't want to do the Connery thing. Yes, the day is mine. Because it's ridiculous, you know. But you can slide that down a little bit. Oh, the day is mine. Yes, it's going to be amazing. But then everybody's accent is Connery, and there's like 4 different Scottish accents. Not that big of a country, but you know. Gregor McGregor. That's my answer to your question. I know that's the analysis you were really looking for. Oh, every time. Thoughts on the expansion of the DSFL? I think perfectly fine. It's something that needed to happen. We're still going to be like shuffling people in and out like crazy just to get people playing time. So it's going to be that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be a precursor to what happens in the NSFL following. So I think it was a necessary step, and we're going to see how it affects things going forward. And hopefully the GMs in question are able to really make a great showing and show people why they should stick around in the league and keep going and how it's fun and things like that. So, like any other DSFL thing, it's all about how the GMs do things. You could redesign or rebrand an NSFL team. Who would you pick? Usually my answer is something like the Saber Cats. The Outlaws have something on the way. Seriously, you could be like the San Jose Mountain Lions or some shit. You could keep every part of the thing and like flip the colors or something, be more gold and green instead of green and gold. It wouldn't be that hard. The Hawks, because it's boring as hell. I'm sorry for the people who love the Hawks brand, but it's just so boring. It's just so boring. They're not even like the bird associated with Baltimore, which is also a football thing. So it feels like you just took Ravens and were like, yeah, we'll just be a different bird. There's so many different things you could have been with Baltimore. I just don't think Hawks was the right one. I don't know. It's worked, but I think I would redesign and rebrand that. I don't know what I would do with it, but if you have free reign to design the Copperheads uniforms, no, I don't know. I'm still trying. However you want it. What would you do? I would. Somebody was actually doing a thing with like our potential alternate jerseys where we use the old original logo and kind of focus on that to have like more purple in it, and it looks cool. So that's kind of a weird thing that's already happening or already happened. But I kind of had free reign to design shit in the first place. I'm also not much of a designer per se. I can take something and be like, I kind of want this feel. I want to evoke this idea when you look at it. I can kind of say maybe a color here or a color there, but like in terms of place this perfectly in this spot, and I'm not the best at that. So I would get somebody who's better at that to help me, and then give them all my thoughts on how I want it to look and feel, and let them do that part. Lastly, how are you? Well, I did kind of answer that. I'm feeling pretty shitty right now. Getting more sleep than I was though, so that's good. No one's had to sit me aside in an official capacity and tell me I'm acting like an asshole to everyone in like 3 weeks. So, bonus. Thank you, Nokazoa. Nokazoa. I know, it's still only funny to me. Ubernet. Why do Dermot thinks I have a small wiener? Projection? Maybe? Maybe because his is a weird little fucker. And so he doesn't. Nope. I thought I had it and I just didn't. Dermot has a weird little fucking. Nope. No, I'm not going to talk about Dermot's dick just to try to do accents now. Because Dermot's a weirdo and I love you both. Oh, I accidentally clicked on your signature. Michael Irvin looks just as confused as I do. Big kicks. Alex thing. I'm going to make you answer some kicker questions. Awesome. Who's your favorite kicker? Alfredo Crisco. Of the newest kickers, say past 3 draft, who is going to have the most success? The one that retired and became a linebacker and got traded to the Austin Copperheads today, just before I started this. I don't know. It's hard to tell with kickers. I probably would have said Squirrel anyway, or Dax Frost if neither of them had changed. But they both kind of were like, no, I'm not about that kicker life. If any kicker who sticks with it all the way through and has fun with it is probably going to have the most success. But you never can tell with the sim. There's only so many correlations you can make into what makes a good kicker. So, does kicking matter in the NSFL? Yes, because it's important, and because it's a position people want to play. And no, because it's very hard for us to quantify ways that you can actually be good at it comparatively to what you're building. And especially because there's not more than one. We don't even have like if you do this thing, you will be good. And what you really want for positions is you have this option, this option, this option, this option to be good. The kicker just doesn't have that. So yes and no, and mostly fuck the designers of the game. That's pretty much the answer there. Fuck those bastards. Thank you, by the way, Alex. Kyle, why is Dermot obsessed with Ned's small wiener? I like the follow-up question. That's nice. What do you plan to do with all this extra free time? Basically, create more jobs for myself is the way it's turned out. No, I've been working a couple of projects on the side. People have heard about it here and there. Because one of the big things we run into is constantly like, we need more shit for people to do with their money. And so I've been working on more shit people can do with their money. And that's a couple of different things that are proposals and projects I've worked on and I'm working on and have sort of HO involvement. I know HO gets a lot of shit. You know, there's the whole fuck HO, they don't really do anything, but I have two projects in particular that both have HO blessing to explore. One is on their desk right now to discuss at the end of the year, and then another, I'm working on a project with several people on a very big thing. They gave me an HO representative to kind of be there for that project because it involves multiple groups within the league. Which it'd be a casino. It's not a super secret or anything. At the end of this, if it works out, we'll have a casino, which I volunteered to run because if I'm gonna put the shit out there, I'm gonna volunteer to take over and make sure shit starts right at least. Also, I sent a proposal to create a more permanent awards committee. That's kind of the next step, and I offered to run that as well because that was my idea. That was my baby. So there we go. That's what I'm doing with this extra free time. I'm also sleeping more and getting injured randomly more. And I say getting injured, I mean just stuff starts to hurt because I'm old. Yep. And then mostly the Twitter stuff and the media stuff with Smithster and me just writing random articles. And there's a lot of theories running around that if we do expand to 4 teams, that somebody's going to convince me to GM. And I have admitted publicly that someone has been trying to convince me to GM. If that's the case, I'm not saying anything further. It's your mom. Your mom is trying to convince me to GM. Also, she wants to know about Ned's small wiener, which is weird because it's very popular. Congratulations to Ned on having the most popular small wiener in the league. So that's a victory of some kind. I probably didn't think about that statement very well before I put it out. That is all the questions I'm accepting, because that is the end of the questions currently. No más cuestiones, which is actually not the word for that, but I just don't remember what it is at the moment. No, you accept my terrible typing. Fuck you. I'm really regretting that I tried to do the accent thing, because it went fucking terrible. I know people are going to randomly expect me to do accent shit now, and I'm going to just be bad at it, or I'm going to randomly pick it up next time, and I'm just like nothing happened. I don't know why. It was a terrible idea. Hopefully it was fun watching me flounder and just flop around like a dead fish because I couldn't get shit on the spot. So, yeah. So there's that. So that's the big news. I've answered questions. We've had some expansion talk. By the way, if you haven't yet, I wrote an article on why I think 4-team expansion is going to be the way to go. There's obviously a little discussion about it afterwards. In terms of balancing the amount of people we have versus how many recruits we're going to get in the future versus positions available, yada yada yada. And then if you haven't read that, feel free to read that. And then there's a follow-up actually from a different person, Trion Egghands, who did a thing today about modeling the growth rate that was kind of a direct follow through on that. So check that out if you get a chance. Other than that, it's been good checking in with y'all, chatting. I'm gonna go be old and injured and probably poop, like I do. So for those who stay all the way to the end of the videos, go ahead and just shout hooty hoo at me randomly and confuse the shit out of everyone who didn't do that. Until next time, y'all have a good one. I'm gonna try not to be in pain next time. I feel like really brings down like the level of energy I can put into this, which kind of sucks. So on behalf of my pitcher of hot tea that I make here at home, on behalf of my swank new Golden Knights hat, on behalf of this shirt that my wife made for me, it says, "All I need is an iron suit with a bandana, a box of tissues, a boomerang, an hour." And I'm not going to explain that joke. Someone's been napping this whole time, so I guess this is going to be the first episode without an appearance by Daisy, which will make it probably the least popular episode in the show's history. But that's okay. That feels fair to the quality of content for this episode. So, I will see you guys next time when I probably find 17 more proposals to give myself 6 more jobs within the league. And y'all have a good one.